What is the fulfillment crisis? Do you feel fulfilled? My name is Ryan Branch, and for the last 7 years, I've been working with high performing leaders and entrepreneurs. And the one thing that I've noticed more than anything is that once those leaders and entrepreneurs perform to the level that they want to, and they've achieved the things that they want to, a lot of them still feel like something is missing. And this quest to fill that gap leads them in looking in all of the wrong places. Now, I've been on this quest myself, and I've got lost down every possible rabbit hole you could imagine. And I think it's plain wrong that you have achieved so much and still feel like something is missing in your life. And that's why I've decided to create this video series and to dedicate my life to the next 20 years to helping leaders and entrepreneurs close the fulfillment gap forever by looking in the right direction instead of outside of themselves into the world, looking inside of ourselves into the self that we've created that is causing the problem in the first place. So look, here's the deal. You may not have considered fulfillment as something that can ever be attained. Or maybe you always wished that you could feel fulfilled, but never really quite got there. Or maybe you do feel fulfilled most of the time, but some of the time it just isn't available. And you just want to know why. There's loads of different reasons why you might be looking at this video right now. But let me tell you something. If you're willing, I will show you, not just in this video, but over the series of videos that will follow and my life work, that fulfillment is not something that can be attained. It is something that must be created within the self. It must be created within ourself. And this lesson, this learning or unlearning about fulfillment is what I believe will create the biggest transformation in business, in our personal lives, and also in the world. So much of what we call suffering is a result of trying to chase something outside of ourselves that we believe will give us a sense of wholeness inside of ourselves. And that can be in relationships, that can be business success, that can be in any number of acquirements, projects. And it is exhausting, to say the least, to work really hard in achieving any project, whether it be, even getting to the point where you've moved through a relationship and now you're finally getting married. And then after a couple of months feeling like something's not quite right. I think it's absolutely heartbreaking to put your whole life into building a business and after a couple of years feel something's not quite right. And all of this project hopping and business hopping and partner hopping and everything else, it's just a waste of time. If there was a way to access a feeling of fulfillment that is available within ourselves, we could meet the world and all of the different things that we want to experience in a very, very different way. And that is what I believe is the solution. It's a way of seeing fulfillment as a perspective instead of a goal to be achieved. If you're willing to consider the possibility that fulfillment can be generated within the self, then what is to follow will be useful to you. If you believe that fulfillment can only be attained by achieving things out in the world, what will follow will be useful to you. See, the thing is this, I've been there. I've worked hard to try to achieve a sense of fulfillment in many areas of my life and failed miserably. Failed miserably every single time because there was always a point just after the thing was acquired, the relationship was settled, the ring was on the finger, where something began to feel like it wasn't quite right. And it doesn't matter to what degree this happens, even if it's only a little tiny bit, that little tiny bit of discomfort, that tiny little bit of something's not quite right here, something's missing, will, if not dealt with correctly, lead us down all kinds of weird and wonderful paths. And the reason for that is because we're taught in this world that we must solve our problems by fixing them and going out in the world and doing something about it. And it's not to say that that isn't true. It's just that when we have an issue with our inner sense of fulfillment, it can never be dealt with externally by fixing, solving, creating things. It just can't. It can't, because it doesn't exist out there. It exists inside of ourselves. It's been created by us. And the reason why we don't feel fulfilled when we acquire things that we want, what we thought we really wanted, when we achieve the things that we felt we really wanted, is because the sense of self, the person I think I am, that wanted those things in the first place, is not really the real me. It's a combination of fears and worries and anxieties, stories that have been told to us from childhood, and a persona, a personality, an identity is created in order to serve the needs of a world that looks like I have to behave a certain way in order to be loved. And that is the root cause of all of our fulfillment crises, all of our fulfillment issues, and all of the sense of incompleteness in our life. Now, over the course of these next few months, I'll be sharing with you many different perspectives on this, and I'll be sharing with you people who have found ways to access fulfillment in their own life, not by achieving things, but through inner inquiry. And I'll also be revealing to you many different ways in which you will be able to see differently this thing called fulfillment through the lens of who I am. Who am I? Not me. I know who I am. But who are you watching this? Who do you believe that you are? And all of the things that you think make up who you are as a person. Because let me tell you, if you have got even this much of a feeling of unfulfillment inside of you, then this much of you is not really operating in the world as a true reflection of your heart and soul. There is a mask, there is a false persona, there is some kind of way you're showing up in the world that isn't authentic. And you'll know it. You'll know it. And you've got used to it. And that's the world that we live in. Today's world is designed to keep us all inauthentic and well paid for it. But unfortunately, it doesn't work. It leaves us feeling empty inside, and it constantly drags our energy down because there's a sense of needing to perform that is going on all the time. And we do not like it. We don't want to do it, but we're used to it. So we tolerate it. We tolerate it in our relationships with other people. We tolerate it in our careers. We tolerate it with ourselves. We tolerate it in so many different ways. Now, sometimes we don't tolerate it with other people, but it's only because we got so sick of tolerating it within ourselves that we get annoyed with other people who are not being themselves. So I want to begin this conversation today with you and say, where in the areas of your life do you feel least fulfilled? And notice if you are being authentically you in those areas. And this might be a difficult task, but your job now is this. If you really want to access a sense of fulfillment, deeply consider the areas of your life where you don't feel fulfilled and notice if you are being inauthentic in those areas. And if you notice that there's a sense of inauthenticity going on there, that's where the conversation has to begin. Now, over the next couple of months, I will be creating videos around different topics across the domain of business, leadership, and our personal life. And you will be able to access different perspectives to help you to see this differently and to stop feeling more fulfilled immediately. And the beautiful thing about accessing fulfillment first is that when we are in a space of fulfillment, we are able to see the world in a very different way. We get perspective. We're able to get self-distance. We're able to be more wise and loving and compassionate. We're able to meet life in a more gentle and forgiving way. We're able to flow and glide in ways that we can't when we're not feeling fulfilled. The agenda in our life, the agenda in our voice, the agenda in the way that we're always trying to get what we want drops away, because the feeling that someone has something that we need or don't have goes. And these are all very, very powerful and deeply meaningful experiences to have as a human being. When fulfillment is activated in the spirit, in the mind, in the body, in the whole person, life begins to be experienced in a more playful way. And the issues that seem massive get smaller because we get perspective. And this is just the beginning of all of the powerful benefits that can come from this. So if you're sick of project hopping, moving around, trying to change partners, change jobs, find a new gym routine, find a new meditation routine, find a new this or a new that, a new cookbook, a new exercise class, a new girlfriend, a new boyfriend. If you're sick of doing all of these different things just to try to feel, finally, like that nagging feeling in your heart is going to be closed. If you're sick of doing that, then continue to watch these videos and continue to notice where you can access a sense of authentic fulfillment within your own self. And what I will leave you with is this thought. If you were able to truly be yourself in every area of your life, do you think that you would be fulfilled? Have a think and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, share it with someone else. Let them have an opportunity to get involved in this movement, which I call fulfillment first. It's been a pleasure talking to you. My name is Ryan Branch, and we'll speak very soon.